What is going on, guys? Zuggy Fishing here, back to you with another video. Hope y'all are so well, living beautifully, positively, confidently, with resiliency, optimism, just loving life overall, because that's what we're about on the channel. Just loving life, having a positive mindset. That's the most important thing. Hope y'all are living positively, being awesome. Just keep living life. Y'all got this. Y'all are awesome and y'all are worth it. Appreciate y'all for joining another episode of Zuggy Fishing. I love y'all so much. So make sure you guys hit that red subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and a comment if y'all like fishing, the outdoors, and just positive vibes. I hope you remain positive throughout these rough times. I love you guys so much. Today we have a very special video for y'all. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys go follow me on everything. The link is down below. Also, the new merch is now live. Link in description. I actually kind of curated this video from a few different creators. So basically on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram, I've seen a lot of people use this bait. You guys know it from the title. I have it in my hands right here, and that is the Elusive Umbrella Rig. I've seen Fisher Yin, I've seen Lojo fishing, I've seen AO fishing, and I've seen a lot of other people. Logan Anderson use the umbrella rig during this time and produce some fish. Umbrella rig, the Alabama rig, whatever you want to call it. I actually picked one up. I never had one before, and this is what this bait looks like. Basically, this is a Yum umbrella rig right here. It's known as the Alabama rig. This bait is actually $13, so a pretty expensive bait. Basically, what this bait is, we're gonna break it down today. I'm gonna show you guys it out of the package, and overall talk to you guys about why, what the hype is with this bait. A lot of different creators from different places have been using this bait and really capitalizing on some fish, bass, other species as well. Wintertime is a key time to capitalize on different bait fish in the waters, and this bait does that perfectly. Well, this is the Flash Mob Junior by Yum. It's a pretty sick bait, actually. So this is the umbrella rig, and if you guys don't know what the umbrella rig, it's basically a giant bait. It's a bait fish imitation. It's in a giant umbrella type bait. We're gonna take it out of the package, and I'm gonna show you guys what this bait is about. It's the Flash Mob Junior right here. Bait school technology, as I said before. Just some things on the back. It says the Yumbrella Flash Mob Junior allows anglers to throw 5 different lures at once. What's so crazy about this bait? You could throw 5 different baits on one bait, simulating a small school of bait fish. Each lure arm and the main wire are stainless steel and has been heated to create a super wire that is unmatched in strength and memory. In addition, the snap and swivel are top quality, super strong to ensure flawless performance. Local state regulations and the number of hooks allowed to fish your waters. Please practice catch and release. Yo, what's actually unique about the Alabama rig, aka the umbrella rig, I'm gonna kind of reference it to the Alabama rig. What's cool and interesting about this bait is that there are certain states in the United States that actually allow a limit on the amount of hooks that you could use on this bait. Basically, this bait, we're gonna take it out of the package in a second, but this bait does not come with any hooks. It basically comes, I'm gonna show you a little graphic right here on the back, but it basically shows a little umbrella rig, Alabama rig, that has these different blades, has this made bait fish head, and then different swivel lock hooks. Take this bait out of the package, and what's interesting is no hooks come on this bait, so you have to kind of improvise and throw different baits on this thing. I mainly recommend is throwing different swimmers on it, swim baits. That's what I'm going to show you in today's video. I could throw tons and tons of other baits though. I know Fishing with Yak Pack, he just did a video. I'll leave his channel linked down below. He's a really awesome YouTuber. He's hit 100,000 subscribers, so shout out to him. He actually did a video on the Alabama rig, and he put a bunch of clickbaits, a bunch of rattle traps, and a bunch of worms on this bait, which I found very interesting. Today, I'm gonna break down the Alabama rig and overall give you a representation of what this bait is and why it's getting so much hype right now. I feel like if you guys watch a lot of different YouTubers, you guys have seen the Alabama rig being used immensely. Taking it out of the package right now, this is what the Alabama rig looks like. It's pretty sick. Now, right here is the little bait fish head, and you tie your line up here. We'll show you guys this in just a second. But right here, it's actually rubber banded. These different wires are together. So we're gonna take this rubber band off. It's a big umbrella. Like it's called the umbrella rig because it looks like an umbrella. And when you detach it, it expands kind of like an umbrella. Y'all, this is the Alabama rig right here. It's a pretty sick bait. A giant profile. It's meant to imitate injured bait fish. Right here on the bait, we have these different blades. Now these blades are similar to something you'd see on an underspin, for example. Here we have 4 blades going on this bait. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty sick stuff. It gives off tons of flash and vibration in the water. Now we also have these swivel and these little locks right here. These swivel and locks, you can attach different baits to them and make it look like a school of injured bait fish or whatever type of prey you want. We have 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right here. And basically you can attach anything you want to it and you can roll it through the water and it looks like a school of injured bait fish. Today, I'm gonna show you guys what this bait looks like in the water with some swim baits, specifically the Googan Baits Saucy Swimmer. Saucy Swimmer, Kitex, and other different baits are really interesting and effective for this setup. Alabama rig is mainly meant to fish these type of swim baits, Saucy Swimmers. Y'all, this bait is getting a lot of hype in the fishing industry right now. It is the fall/winter time. I gotta classify it as a winter time in New Jersey. Heck, it could still be quote unquote fall transition in the South. I really don't know. Obviously, I don't live in the South, but right now it is the dead cold winter. Having 20, 25, 30 degree days, even dropping below the 20s in the nighttime. It is super, super cold, and these bass are really trying to conserve energy. However, they also need those meals when they conserve energy down in those deep pockets. And they're looking for a meal. They are looking for bait fish, big bait fish that they could classify, that they could really keen in on. Y'all, the umbrella rig, the Alabama rig, is a bait that's really deserves the hype this time of year because of its ability to keen in on those bass that are looking for those bait fish during the winter time. Winter time is basically a time where bass are looking for bait fish to the max before the spring bedding time, even before like that mid-winter transition when they're really trying to conserve energy. When they can get an easy bait fish meal, they will. This is why this bait is so essential this time of year, looking for those injured bait fish in the water, really to stack up for those bass. Why so many people are using this bait right now, because of its ability to look like a school of bait fish as well as those easy meal bait fish for the winter time. I think this bait is sick. I'm gonna show you guys, I'm gonna pair up some Texas rig 3/0 hooks right here and then attach some Saucy Swimmers, and we're gonna get a quick look at it in the water. But that's basically why this bait is getting all the hype right now. Mainly because in the winter time, bass are keening on those bait fish. Like right now, it would be a perfect time for you guys to use the Alabama rig, slow swim it. It looks like an injured school of bait fish, and y'all could really capitalize on some good bass because those fish are looking for those bait fish, that easy meal for the winter time. What's also interesting about this bait is that certain states actually don't allow a certain amount of hooks on the bait. I will pop up New Jersey's different regulation right here on the screen somewhere. However, in different states, they allow different hooks. I don't know why, to be honest, but like you're not allowed to have as many hooks as the bait has or something along those lines. There's just different regulations. I am going to try to meet the regulations and look it up right now. I'm going to show you guys what this bait looks like in the water. It's a sick setup, a big bait fish head right here, and then over here you have the blades and the little lock-in swivels to get that bait fish school. Bait is imitating a school of bait fish, and that's exactly what it looks like in the water. Pretty sick stuff. So I'm actually going to look up New Jersey's regulation. I have it popped up on the screen, but I will let you guys know, and we're going to show you guys what this bait looks like in the water. I'm actually going to attach a few 3/0 EWG worm hooks on these different propellers right here, and I will show you guys what this bait looks like in the water. Actually just looked up what New Jersey's regulations for the Alabama rig, and you're allowed to have 5 hooks. So there's 5 on here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're allowed to have 5 in New Jersey fishing bodies of water, with the exception of the Delaware River, which you're only allowed to have 3. In the Delaware River, you're only allowed to use 3 out of the 5 hooks on this Alabama rig. However, otherwise you're allowed to use 5. I'm not breaking, oh there we go, I finally cut the glue off of this thing. So we're not breaking any regulations with using all 5. I may actually just use a few just for the example, but I'm not intended to catch any fish this video. At least I don't think so. But right here, I just cut the glue off of this Alabama rig, and I have all of these different Texas rig hooks, and I'm gonna put the line through this thing. I'm gonna talk to you guys while I'm tying this thing up. Versatile bait overall. The reason why it's getting all the hype this time of the year is mainly just because of its ability to catch fish in the wintertime, classifying those bass that are keen in on those bait fish. Bait fish are such a key meal in all times of the year primarily. However, mainly in that fall to winter transition, really when those bass are trying to conserve energy. Trying to stock up on those bait fish greatly, which is why the Alabama rig does the job great. I'm going to tie up the Alabama rig right now. Got it tied up. Nothing too special, just tied a classic fisherman's knot. And then we are going to cut off the excess with our Googan Squad braid scissors right here. I'm gonna put some Texas rig hooks on this thing, and we are going to show you guys what this bait looks like on the water. So right here, I have a bunch of Texas rig hooks. This is one of my go-to pond boxes. So we're gonna take some of the rigs out, And okay, this is, yeah, we can do this one, I think. So I got a few different Texas rig hooks here. I'm not trying to, match each hook perfectly. However, I just want to do a quick example for y'all to show y'all what this bait looks like. I'm going to do 3 hooks just for the purposes of this video. However, I totally maximize the amount of hooks that you could have depending on your state regulation. 3 Texas rig hooks right here that I just took out of the box, and we are going to pair it on the Alabama rig. And then over here, I have some Saucy Swimmers, the Googan Bait Saucy Swimmers at 3.3 inches. Right here, these are the baits that you want to have on your Alabama rig. Depending on the size of the forage of the bait fish in your pond, lake, river, whatever, you want to classify the size of the swimmer. So mainly in bodies of water around me, the bait fish forage is super, super small. So right here, I have the smallest Googan Bait Saucy Swimmer you could have. It's a 3.3 inch. I've seen people use 3.8 inches. I've seen 4.4 inches. I've seen some giant swim baits for those big southern fish. Only up here, the bait fish are not too big at all. They're nothing to brag about. Forage is super small. In my area, around the ponds, lakes, nothing big at all. Primarily why the bass aren't the biggest fish in the world, so I have the smaller presentation. Here, I have the Alabama rig, and what you want to do is there's these different lock swivels on the end, and you want to attach your bait, whatever it is you're using, on it. So basically, it's kind of hard to unlock, but you kind of just pop it out just like that so it opens. I'm going to take my 3/0 Texas rig hook, and then I'm going to put it on this bait just like that. Boom, now it is attached on just like that, and we are going to lock it back in place just like that. So that's exactly how you curate the Alabama rig. We're gonna actually just attach one more Texas rig hook on this thing, and I'm going to show you guys what it looks like. Right here, I tied up all of the different hooks, looking pretty snazzy. So right here, I'm just going to Texas rig the different Googan Bait Saucy Swimmer on this bait. So I got the Googan Bait Saucy Swimmer right here, just 3 of them for 3 hooks, no problem at all. So basically what we're gonna do is we're simply just gonna Texas rig these baits on the Alabama rig. Now the 3/0 may be a little too big for the 3.3 inch, but not too crazy at all. Maybe wanna go with a 2/0. I'm not going to kind of properly rig this thing. It is freezing out here, guys. It is literally like 25 degrees. My hands are literally like purple. It's freezing out here today, but y'all, this is what the bait looks like right here. We're gonna Texas rig this thing up, and boom, that is the first one on the Alabama rig. Not properly rigged, of course, as I said before. We're not trying to do too much today, but yeah, there we go. That is what the Alabama rig looks like. So with the 3/0, I think it's a little big for the 3.3 inches. However, with the old 2/0 EWG worm hook, you could totally pass it off. Now that I think about it, I think we're just gonna do one today to show you guys what this bait looks like. And to be honest, it's not the proper way to rig it right now. I'm kind of just doing it nonchalantly. You're gonna cast out the Alabama rig right now. I just have one Saucy Swimmer paired up. Again, not rigged properly, not the proper gear. It's just kind of for the example of the video. So this is what the Alabama rig looks like in the water. It's a perfect bait fish imitation. Look at how that bait looks. Like, look at the Saucy Swimmer. Look at the old blades on this bait. It's just awesome. This is not, again, the proper gear per se for the Alabama rig in terms of the Texas rig hooks, in terms of the swimmer size. It's just not, I probably do some more research and experiment a little bit more. This is literally my first time ever using the Alabama rig, and it's pretty sick. But like, you guys could see how this bait looks like an injured bait fish, especially with the swimmer on the end and the different blades. It looks absolutely sick. And I feel like this bait's highly underrated, and I feel like it's getting a lot of hype right now, especially if you guys, do that slow retrieve. A main pattern I do with this bait is the slow retrieve, basically just letting it sink down, slow retrieving it just like that, letting all of the blades and the different swimmers do all of the work for you. And also, if you guys different twitch pauses and patterns, you get even more flash, looking like the injured bait fish is dying in some way and darting off in different directions. I think it's pretty sick. But overall, this thing is sick. I love the Alabama rig, and I 100% think it deserves the hype it's getting right now, and how effective it is for catching fish overall. Alabama rig's pretty sick. I just want to show you guys quickly. Again, this is not the proper way to rig this bait in terms of the hooks and the Saucy Swimmers. I could totally do another video trying to catch some fish on it, but overall, just casting this thing out shortly and retrieving it in looks awesome. The blades, the style of the bait. This is also a low profile Alabama rig. There are some bigger ones, However, there's also the saucy swimmers which do the work. So the main factors of this bait are the blades and the little tails of the saucy swimmer. It's basically a bait fish imitation, a little school of bait fish, and those bass are capitalizing on that bite right now. So it's pretty essential to use in these times. You guys are going to be watching this video during the winter, so it's essential to use during these times, especially early spring too. The bass are looking for those meals. They're really aggressive early spring. So we are going to take a look at this bait one last time, kind of just popping it, reeling it in. Pretty sick stuff. As you can see, the saucy swimmer is doing its work. Again, not rigged properly, as I said before. But overall, this bait's sick. The different blades roll in the water, create those vibrations, as well as the saucy swimmer tail, looking like those injured bait fish, as I said before, rolling through the water. The tail on this bait does the work for you, and it's just an overall sick setup. If you guys want a great bait fish imitation and to capitalize even on multiple fish, you can catch multiple fish on this bait depending on, you know, your state's regulation with hooks and things like that. But you have the potential to catch 5 fish on this bait if you can put 5 hooks on it. So I think this bait's pretty sick in terms of this wintertime bite. Again, not rigged properly, but you know, pretty sick stuff overall. If we're looking like an injured bait fish. School bait is essential for the winter time. Y'all definitely want to be fishing this thing aggressively now, especially if y'all have open water like this bank, or just even that early spring, those winter times. Alabama rig is really essential. Well, I appreciate you guys watching today's video. I just went over the Alabama rig a little bit, what this bait was about, how to fish this bait. Basically, it's really essential and it's getting the hype from a lot of people right now. Alabama rig, pretty sick stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be positive, just fish.